Why illness? Why death? Where were you, Lord? I believe all of us ask these questions at dark times in our life. Once my mother shared with me a particularly dark time in her life. Big things and little things came together to make everything seem dark and out of control. Our family had just moved from a beautiful hill station to a hot, dry city. In addition to caring for all of our 7 children, Mom had to cope with the care of her uncle who was dying. But the biggest blow came when my father, her beloved husband, fell ill. One day he made her sit down and told her that the doctors had diagnosed that he was in the last stages of cancer and had maybe 4 months to live. He explained it to her very calmly, but it was a huge shock and she just couldn't take it in. My dad was admitted to hospital, which increased the feeling of being alone and helpless. That evening, when she took the dog for a walk with my younger brother, a drunk began following her and shouting out, and that feeling of being unprotected increased. She went to bed that night feeling overwhelmed and lost. She described it as being at the bottom of a pit. But that night, she had an experience of God's presence in a way she never had before or ever since. She felt that she was floating in a huge ocean of love, and a big wave lifted her right up and peace entered her. And when she woke up, she was filled with a certain knowledge. She said, I know God is with me. Everything will be all right. No matter what happens, everything will be all right. And her faith soared. Soon afterwards, the doctors reassessed my father's case and called my mum back to tell her it was a mistake. We are very sorry. It's not cancer at all. We will cure your husband and give him back to you as good as new. And Dad went on to live another 50 good years with his sweetheart. And now he is with the Lord. In today's gospel, we catch a glimpse of another family faced with sickness and death. Let's see if this gospel will answer some of our questions. A reading from the Gospel of St. John. Now a certain man was ill, Lazarus of Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. The sister sent a message to Jesus, Lord, he whom you love is ill. But when Jesus heard it, he said, this illness does not end in death. Rather, it is for God's glory, so that the Son of God may be glorified through it. Accordingly, though Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus, after having heard that Lazarus was ill, he stayed 2 days longer in the place where he was. We heard twice that Jesus loved this family. Now, if you loved someone and they were in trouble and asked for your help, what would you do? But what did Jesus do? He delayed going for 2 days. He was across the Jordan, so that means he would take much longer. Now, what did he say about Lazarus to his disciples at that time? He said, this illness will not end in death. He will die. It's a hint for us actually that all of us will die, but death is not the end. It's not going to end. That's why we don't have to say someone is dead. He died. Jesus also said that some good would come of it. What did he say? God would be glorified. We need to remember that God doesn't want more glory for himself. He's full of glory. But when he is glorified, that means when we begin to see him in a new way, and then we are the ones who are blessed. Let's continue. When Jesus arrived, he found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb 4 days. Now Bethany was near Jerusalem, some 2 miles away, and many of the Jews had come to Martha and Mary to console them about their brother. When Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went and met him, while Mary stayed at home. Martha said to Jesus, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." What do you think Martha was trying to say? "Lord, we called you, you have the power to heal, and why didn't you come soon? Why did you delay?" But then she added something more. "But even now I know that God will give you whatever you ask of him." Jesus said to her, "Your brother will rise again." Martha said to him, "I know that he will rise again in the resurrection on the last day." Jesus said to her, "I am the resurrection and the life. Those who believe in me, even though they die, will live. And everyone who lives and believes in me will never die. Do you believe this?" She said to him, "Yes, Lord, I believe that you are the Messiah, the Son of God, the one coming into the world." This is a very important conversation we've just heard. It's like a viva, an oral exam. Now, what do you think the exam was all about? It was all about faith or believing. In the short conversation, the word believe comes 4 times. Suppose you were the examiner, what do you think you would give Martha out of 10? 0, 5, 10? I would give her 10, because even though her brother had been dead 4 days, she still believed that Jesus had the power to change things. Let's see what happened when the other sister met Jesus. When Mary came to where Jesus was and saw him, she knelt at his feet and said to him, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." When Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who came with her also weeping, he was greatly disturbed in spirit and deeply moved. He said, "Where have you laid him?" They said to him, "Come, Lord, come and see." Jesus wept. So the Jews said, "See how he loved him." But some of them said, "Could not he who opened the eyes of the blind man have kept this man from dying?" Can you find any words that show how Jesus was feeling in these 2 pages? Greatly disturbed, deeply moved, and Jesus wept. And what do these words tell us about Jesus? He feels the pain of people. He loves us so much. Jesus was not weeping because he felt it's all hopeless, but he wept out of love, feeling the pain of the people. And now, action. Then Jesus, again greatly disturbed, came to the tomb. It was a cave, and a stone was lying against it. Jesus said, "Take away the stone." Martha, the sister of the dead man, said to him, "Lord, already there is a stench, because he has been dead 4 days." Don't we also sometimes try to tell God, "Don't do this, because not good"? Jesus said to her, "Did I not tell you that if you believed you would see the glory of God?" So they took away the stone. And Jesus looked upward and said, "Father, I thank you for having heard me. I knew that you always hear me, but I have said this for the sake of the crowd standing here, so that they may believe that you sent me." When he had said this, he cried out with a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out!" The dead man came out, his hands and feet bound with strips of cloth, and his face wrapped up in a cloth. And Jesus said to them, "Unbind him and let him go." Many of the Jews, therefore, who had come with Mary and had seen what Jesus did, believed in him. The word of the Lord. Why did Jesus thank God aloud? He already answered that. So that the crowds would believe. He did everything so that the people would believe. And did it happen? Yes. We know that they realized that Jesus had power that only God could have. And what happened when Jesus called out to the dead, Lazarus, come out? He obeyed, he came to life. And this is what is going to happen when Jesus comes again. He will call us out of our graves and we will receive new bodies. But even now, in our present day, Jesus calls out to us. He says, come out. Come out of sin. Come out of bondage. It only brings death. And I want to give you freedom and life. So let's look at what we've learned. Jesus feels our pain and He's with us in our times of sorrow. He sometimes delays answering our prayer, but He does everything for our good. Death is like sleep, but Jesus has the power to raise us up, and even now He calls us out of darkness of sin. And there is one thing that Jesus wants from us. He wants us to believe in Him, in His love and His power. Dear friends, just as Jesus spoke to Martha, He says to you today and to me, I am the resurrection and the life. Those who believe in me, even though they die, will live. And everyone who lives and believes in me will never die. And He asks us, do you believe this? Give Jesus your answer. If you're in a group, share anything that touched you, one thing that touched you especially from the Gospel, and pray for each other to believe in God in every situation, good or bad. Bye from Family Faith Time. All the best in the last leg of the journey to Easter.